Amen.
Amen. Can you turn mine down a little bit, please? Hello? No, a little higher.
Hello.
Okay.
You guys hear me? Yeah, that's too loud. Isn't it too
What's
loud?
up? No, I think we're on. Yeah.
My shit's too loud.
Ooh.
Hello.
Oh, Lord.
Hello.
Ooh. Hello. Can you
Softer.
turn mine down a little bit? Because I feel like I'm screaming. Hello.
How about now? Yeah, this
It's
is
better.
How about now?
It's
That's
better.
good?
Yeah, it's better.
just a tad bit more, though. I'm kind of
yes,
deaf.
a tad. Yes.
That's good?
That's better, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you live?
Yeah.
There you are.
We are live without the music today. Yeah. I don't know what to do when I don't have the music. Just put the music on. Yeah, but to put the music on. That gets me going.
No. Need some music. Let's
Welcome to episode 16, everybody. Welcome. We have a very exciting show. I want to welcome you guys. Thank you for all the support, for all the love, for all the shares and follows. Please share, subscribe on Red Angeles on YouTube. We need your help. Spread the word. The more people subscribe, the more viewers. The more we reach out there. I want to open up this. We have a very exciting show today. I've been planning on. I've been fighting within myself whether I should talk about this topic or not, and I think hold on. I think we are going to talk about it. But before, I had a lot of people DM me asking me what happened. There was episode 14 when you weren't on, episode 15. Eileen and Edgar weren't on. What's going on? We have, there's nothing happening. Nothing's going on. A lot of people, especially Antifa, would love to see us spread up and just not be able to unite people. But we're not about that. So we have new way of we're running our podcast, one of which is when I have a guest come to our show, most likely I will be one-on-one with our guest, and then if Edgar has a guest or Eileen has a guest and they want to have their time with their guest, more welcome. But we're trying to do a podcast where we're informing people, and sometimes I'll have a guest where all of us will be on. Sometimes I'll just be alone, or Edgar and Eileen will do a show, because the show that they did I was amazed. Like, I wasn't there to mess nothing up, and they did an amazing show, and I loved it, and we're just doing our thing, and we're just representing and keeping it flow. Nothing's happening. We're still here. We're still live. We're still together. However we run our podcast, however we run the podcast is just the way we're doing it, Nothing's changed.
Chaos.
Chaos. So welcome to episode 16, everybody,
Good to be here.
Yes. One of my favorite, save the children. Save our children.
Yes.
I can't believe you guys use this. You put this right here with my microphones. Like, damn it.
See, you were with us.
So I came down with the mountains with not the commandments, I'm not that holy, but I have come down with some rules and regulations. One of which
comes
is
down with tablets. We're
yeah.
I say this.
Well, I came down.
First, he complimented, like us, like getting together, talking about set topics, and then he came down with his tablets.
Yes.
I told you.
And the burning bush.
Well, not tablets, just rules. I'm not.
it.
So I somewhat have said that the tablet, the rules. Like, we'll have our show, we'll have our guests. Some guests would have one-on-one time with me, and some guests will have all of us together, depending on who the guest is, and I want to give them that opportunity.
You got tired of us. Just say it like that.
No,
Look
not
in the
me.
camera
The
straight.
guest.
I saw that's it. So much I can think. Bite your white T-shirt. There is that superstition. Yeah, you clean the room, right?
So yeah, I was. I've really been debating whether I should talk about this topic, but it's eating me up. I mean, for those people that know me, they know that I'm Armenian. I'm the guy that fights for the flag, right there. I'm that guy, right? But I'm Armenian, the Armenian guy that's fighting for the flag, not someone else, right? And above all, I'm very down for my being Armenian to a point where, I mean, I'm not trying to tell my life story, but I'm down for my people. I've been down since I came to this country. Racism was very big in the 80s. Gang violence was very big back then. Everything was
it racism though, or was it just like not understanding cultural clash? I think a lot of us immigrated here. We took over neighborhoods that were like predominantly Latino. It was like a culture clash for them too. That's what
pretty
it was.
much, but it
it's like,
still was kind of racist type situations. I'm pretty sure you ran into it where, we're not here to talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Don't stir
sidetrack.
up.
No. Let's not stir up, because what I want to talk about, I really want our audience to understand why I could talk about this, because I have put in my life into being Armenian. You know what I'm saying? I nearly lost my life. I went into coma 7 days. Tried. Really fought for my life to be here today, and for me to judge someone talking about my people, I have the right to speak on it because I earned it with my life. I have that. So I was watching 2 specific episodes of podcast episodes, right? And this first one was with the one of the famous people that I know, Armenian and half Armenian. I'm talking about the Dan Belazian and Patrick David podcast.
Bulgarian, yeah.
Bulgarian, yes. And then they had another podcast with the Wise Nuts and Patrick Bet David. Wise Nuts, if you guys don't know, they're pretty popular podcast. They've been around for a while. My top hats off to them. There's nothing against them or anything. They've been around. I've met them. I don't know them personally, but I've met them. They're cool people. I would have had, if you guys know me, I would have had that podcast ran way different than how they ran it. But that's them. This is not against them. But what got me really the most is what this guy said, Patrick Bet David. Even though he did put me on the map, even though he supported me, and but that's even the worstest part that's hurting me, because of all the love and support that he gave us, and then he wants to come down to Glendale and make a remark where some people say, hey, but no, for me that's an insult, I don't know if you guys heard the remark, but I don't even want to put it up there, bro, because it's so disrespectful to me as an Armenian man who has put in his life's worth of being Armenian and being...
How'd you feel disrespected? What was the...
what was the context?
I guess he said it in a way, and then he
and
cleared...
who's this? Patrick Bet David? Or
Patrick Bet David.
Okay, what about him?
He made, this whole topic, you guys asked me what's the topic. Well, I'm going to get to the topic, and we're going to discuss 3 main points of why I'm
Give it to him,
mad.
man.
Yeah, why I'm mad of the guy who really put me on the map. Well, thank you and everything. I appreciate you, but there is things that doesn't match. It doesn't fit together. So he said that Armenians are owned by Glendale and California. And he went on to say it in a very, if you look at the clip, and he's saying it in a very like aggressive, like male dominant lion type, like there two wise nuts, the crew, there's like three guys sitting and him sitting, and he's like, you should wear a t-shirt that says you are owned like this, and I was like, dude, and no one's saying nothing.
You lost me there. What happened?
Yeah.
You should wear a t-shirt that says you are owned.
How are we owned?
By Glendale and
How
California.
does Glendale own us?
Because of the things that this government is pushing
I'm an
on.
entity to myself. Like
Exactly.
It's like,
and he's singling
I
out.
punched through that bullshit. Like fuck your opinion.
And one of the things that I have come down from the mountain is no cussing.
I said, who owns me? That's not cussing.
That's Patrick is saying that Glendale.
We're not owned, Patrick. We're not.
And California
may be leasing
owns
us.
So I'm like, bro, like I understand what you. And then he goes on to say that any other city or state would love to accept all these Armenians because we are doers. We are creators of jobs. We are builders. We thrive and we make the community this and that, right? And I'm like, yeah, you're saying all these nice things right before you were like, you should wear a T-shirt that says you are owned. Like, in a way, you got to see the clip the way he says it.
You got the clip?
Like I own you.
Who owns me?
And I'm like, bro, there is like, you're saying something here. You come to this podcast and you have this podcast crew that's been around and they're more, I mean, no disrespect to them, but I definitely wouldn't have took that podcast like that. After I watched the whole thing and I watched it 3 times. I'm not going to get into the podcast, but just that one particular part really got to me like, bro, I nearly lost my life being Armenian, and I always thought I own everything. California's mine, Don't get me go at it like that, And all of a sudden, this guy comes and he's all like, "You're owned, You should wear a T-shirt that you're owned." Like I'm like, "Oh shit," like that, And
That's
then you might want to say, "Where is Don Bilzerian come in, Manuk? Like, what does he have to do with all of this?"
Hey, Bilzerian gangster, bro. He
like when
he have Arab type fun. You understand?
Yeah.
Arab import like OnlyFans models, take
That's
dumps
my
and
boy.
send them
That's
back.
the big homie right
Bilzerian
there,
was
bro.
the first. Again, Armenian people do things first. He took a street walking person and paid it and threw it off a roof, and she kind of hurt herself. You guys remember like when we heard about Bilzerian?
No.
He threw somebody off like a second story, like a working girl.
No way.
Like she was contracted for a certain.
No way. I
Yes.
never heard about it. Where do you hear this?
I know,
stuff?
right?
Bro, I've been knowing Bilzerian's like actions. I'm telling you, Bilzerian is the Armenian version of like living Arab life. You understand? It's like
What's so thing about Arab
Arab
life?
is like different money. They import. Okay, so check this out. There's this thing where Dubai guys like they will import.
That's not Arab. That's Dubai money.
Okay, but it's
completely
Arabic guys.
different.
But
It's
we're
Arabic.
talking about.
It's
But
Arabic.
he's
talking
not. He's talking
It's
about
Arabic.
something
It's-
completely
Bro,
different.
we're
Okay, let's say
talking
it's
about-
Saudi with money, like daddy's
so
oil
Manuk,
money.
Manuk, I have a question for you.
They shit on people
Why
and send
was?
them back.
Excuse me.
We're talking about something else.
But that was the point I was making.
But Manuk, I have a
cut me off.
question. Why was maybe I haven't watched the thing. I haven't watched the segment that you're talking about. But maybe he was saying in the context he was saying it in. Why was it so triggering for you?
Many reasons. I have my personal reasons why I'm saying this.
But we're on a podcast, so whether it's
Yes.
personal or
No,
not,
no,
I'm
no.
asking you.
Yes, my personal reasons is majority of the Armenian, the way I feel that whatever Okay, I'll get to it. We have an hour and a half or an hour, 2 hours to talk about this. But this is exactly what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I didn't want you guys to know what I was talking about.
So we're unprepared.
Yeah, and you could ask me natural questions like, why would you feel like this, Manuk? And Patrick Bet-David has been with the Armenian community. Yeah, I know he has, but the things that he says and the things that he does, he's kind of like, like, come on, bro, what's up, homie? I thought you were...
But see, this is the problem that I have with our people, is like we're so quick to raise someone way up in the air, but we're just as quick to slam them down the second they say second they say something that kind of triggers us or we don't agree with.
See, this is exactly, you're contradicting your own self.
How?
Because you're saying this is what I hate about our people, but you haven't even let me finish what I was about to say because I'm about to say something.
Go ahead.
You know
we'll
what I'm
finish
saying?
it.
So before you say anything, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Right? So he says it in a way. The way he begins to say it is very aggressive. And then he clears it up by saying that any country, any city, any government, anybody would love to take the Armenian community and give them home, because they know we will drive that city, that town, that country, whatever, right? So he's saying it in a good way, that why we stuck in California? Let's just move out of California, go somewhere else.
Why though? Why are we moving out of here?
Exactly, because
the weather
we're
is
giving
good
up.
over here. It's humid where
I
he's
lived
at.
most of
They
my
got
life
big
here.
bugs.
Just I'm gonna live because the Gavin Newsom, and I'm gonna get to all of this. Gavin Newsom signed in 1955, and you're telling me that I'm owned? Yeah, because I'll get to that. So now. Patrick Bet-David, I want to let people know when I say he put me on the map. When we had that protest in 2023, June 2nd, in North Hollywood, Isagholian Elementary School, we took to the streets, and
he amplified it, yes.
And we didn't back down. We stood our ground. We went to Glendale on June 6th, and we stood the same thing. In Glendale, we stood our ground, and we were not taking it. We weren't having it. And this hit news, and it went viral. A couple of videos of me and our homegirl, one of our toughest mama bears,
Wasn't it
Lucine Kirakosyan, and I don't want to say the other lady's name because she doesn't really want to be out there like that. But yeah, we went viral, and because we went viral, Patrick Bet-David happened to come across the video, and he went on to say how he's proud of being Armenian, how the honor, like the emotion he put into it. I remember back then, like around June, July, August, all the Armenians, all we were talking about was Isagholian and Glendale and what Patrick Bet-David is saying, because he was all into it and he was all with us and he was standing tough and strong next to us, and he was supposed to come down and put this big show for all the parents to unite and give us this ultimate idea and support that we should take and take back what parental rights is, and everybody, and Armenians have the will and the power to come together as a unity, like in a day you could get 100,000 Armenians in a street, we have
some
that.
sort of
And we've done
tragedy.
it.
You need some sort of tragedy.
We have that, something to really,
Outside
not
of
only
tragedy,
tragedy,
everybody's
but
doing their
something
thing.
to hurt us physically in our family or someone that we really love, like our children, would get us uniting like that and taking to the streets. It would done that, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, seriously, if we had some kind of leadership, like some powerful person, like someone up there, to come and say, come on, join me, like parents, especially Armenian. Imagine, I would have been the first one standing next to that guy saying, let's go,
And finding volunteers of such,
like all Armenians would have been, if Patrick Bet-David had come to California and had that one thing that he said he was going to have, that one big event for the parents and the people who were part of all these, it would have ignited all Armenian community to take a stand. This is what I think.
That's a lot of votes too. between Valley, Sun Valley. It's like we are spread. It's like
we control.
We are in neighborhoods.
Los
yeah.
Angeles, we have a lot of registered voters. This is the beauty of being Armenian. All of our parents and our
We want to
sisters,
believe in democracy.
we're all
Goddammit.
registered voters. Majority of us are registered voters. You know what I'm saying? We're not just
We
citizens.
have a voice.
We register to vote, and
That's huge, yeah.
in North
I see the
Hollywood,
point, yeah.
bro. In North Hollywood, is like 65% of house owners are registered Armenian voters. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we got power in some cities, some areas, and we're not using it because we are not united. And I want to get to what Dan Bilzerian and Patrick's interview. He was very much in tune with how should I say this, because I don't want this life to shut down, bro. I gotta really watch out what I say, okay, people, because the second I say something, we get shut down.
Nagila Chava, Nagila Chava, Nagila Chava. Where's my flags?
So Patrick and Dan Bilzerian, I don't know if you guys seen that interview, that podcast.
I saw some parts of it.
I saw the whole thing maybe 3, 4, 5 times. You know,
I'm a blue collar, bro. I have to.
I watched that. I watched that through and through, maybe 5 times if I'm not exaggerating. Through that whole podcast, he was glorifying a certain type of people.
Who?
Patrick Bet-David,
okay.
you know, and Dan Bilzerian was like, hey, bro, it's not, you know, like, yeah, the whole world is like talking the way you're talking, but they're blind to see the truth and the reality and all this and that, you know. So for a person whose grandparents have been through a genocide and massacre, I kind of feel everything a little bit different, because my grandma, as I was telling earlier today, lost 7 of her brothers and sisters. The only children that survived was her and her sibling, a month-old child, and she was a year and a half. And the only reason they each survived was because they did not know how to speak. Because they didn't know how to speak Armenian. You know, they didn't know how to speak at all. So they passed for an Arab, and they were smuggled out of the country. So I'm a victim of a survivor, you know. So for a Holocaust people not to...
You're a victim of a survivor?
Product of a survivor.
Product or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. So
We're not victims.
I'm also
We're
a
not
foreigner. I'm an immigrant. So, bro, come on. My English is
victim,
not
you know?
my
Don't worry
first
about it.
language.
We got
So my grandparents were slaughtered, right? And
Yes.
I'm their grandchild. So, and for me to see another Holocaust survivor not accepting or recognizing another Holocaust survivor, that's like, you know, doesn't sit well with me, you know. But we know all the good and bad things about the certain people and their laws and their ways, and they intend to stick together as much and best they can, you know, and they do very successful and they're very powerful. Much of which we Armenians think that we stick together, and our community thinks that Armenians always tight-knit community and they stick to each other. But even though inside us we really know, as much as we think we're sticking together, we're not. You know, we're spread. We're not in common grounds with a lot of things that's happening, and that's why our country is very in a shambles, because...
I have a question.
You know, so Patrick that day was saying that how Jews, I'm going to say it, they stick together.
What's so bad about that?
That's not bad.
We try to
This
do
good.
it as best as possible.
It's-
Everybody
it's
does.
It's not bad.
Everybody
I'm not saying.
does, you know?
I'm not
It's like-
saying it's bad. Just
A
like
Latino feels more comfortable, let's say, with somebody that is Latino over there who understands their customs
exactly.
and stuff.
That's not
And this is
bad.
just in construction alone. You know what I mean? It's so. What's the bad thing about it? That's what I want to know.
The bad thing
I've never come across an American Jewish person in my vicinity, where I work, okay, that does not understand or know anything about the Armenian genocide. They are on board with it. Now, if we're talking about like a country of Israel not recognizing a certain government, it's like that's why it's like, you know what I mean? It's
well, when I'm talking
I try
about
to like
this,
judge for
when I'm
character.
talking about
you know?
this subject, I'm not talking people in particular, because I do have friends and I love them very much, respect them, who are Israeli and Jewish, you know, and I mean that you can't change the fact who you are. You were born, you know. You didn't choose to be born that way. You were born. I was born Armenian, right? And this is who I am. And you were born whatever you were born, and I'm going to accept it like that. I have nothing against the people. You don't understand, you know. But the government and the politics and rules and all this society.
I have the right to
not only the government, but the whole society. Maybe a handful of people agree with us, but the majority of the society, if they demand the recognition of the Armenian genocide, the government will recognize it. This is the way that it works, right? The population comes up and says, recognize this, and they recognize it, right?
That's a state who is of a Holocaust, right? It's
exactly.
Like okay,
why
so what happened
you?
to sympathy? What happened to understanding, reasoning?
You're talking about government officials. I think that goes out the window.
But what he's saying is like, even with, let's say, forget the government aside, like you have to say like majority of population too, like majority.
I really don't think it matters.
Let's say
the population could stand
Israel,
up.
You know?
Yeah, and the government says.
But if the whole population, imagine if listen, there's like 44.
I thought there was democracy in Israel. There's no democracy there. Like,
Eileen, if 44 million Californians get up one day and walk to Sacramento and tell Governor Newsom to sign the 1955 against, like cancel it.
How many million?
There is 44 million people in California. If all Californians go up there and tell him right now, not tomorrow, not in 5, he will sign it. Yes, I think it's 44 million. He will sign it because he will see the whole state came up to him. He would have no choice. He cannot say no. He might end up getting recalled. He might end up losing his job. He might end up not being in government official no more.
Yeah, that's still a lot. Like Google thinks it's 39 million.
So he has to comply with the people to keep his job.
You don't need that many. Like 10 million is enough.
I'm just saying, bro, if majority of the people come up and say, we want this, that's what they... But then it could be, like you said, one governor doesn't even need no one's opinion, and he can sign it into law.
But that's not the case. There's a decent push from, let's say,
because
leftist ideology. That's why it's like there are certain people we got like more involved about local politics, right? None of us cared. Before like a year ago, I didn't care about local politics, right? It's like I did my due diligence. I voted for presidency, and whatever ballots they sent out, I'd fill out whatever I understood. I sent it back. I did my diligence, right?
Yesterday, it's a good thing that you said we weren't in politics. Now we're in politics. Yesterday, I was watching Maria and Jose were live in I think Riverside. They had this one guy come and speak, and he said that it's so funny that now I'm thinking about that I want to start my own party. And you know how easy it is? It's like $159 for a permit fee, and you would need to collect 100,000 registered voters to sign to your party, and you could have a party of your own.
What kind of party is this?
I'm talking about Democrat, Republican, not the kind you think about.
I'm not interested.
But no, think about the power you could control if you have a party of your own to be able to get into the White House.
If I govern California, bro, everybody's going to die.
Not only govern California, I'm talking about a party that you could put your nominee into being in the White House. You could have a party of your own.
Do you really want to start that one? It's like,
why not?
We got
why not? Maybe
leave our kids alone. We podcast on Fridays.
Listen, do you really think all the Republicans like Donald Trump? No,
Probably
they don't
not.
They don't like him. They don't even want to endorse him. But they have no other choice because he's the most popular Republican out there that could take the presidency seat. Besides him, there's no one else. He's the most popular. They don't really like him, but they have no choice because they need a Republican
Because
candidate
he's
up
saying
there.
sane stuff. He wants to deal with border issues. You know, he's taking like certain initiatives, making it clear for us. Under this administration, I don't know what's going on most of the time.
Most
You
of the
understand?
time.
I don't know what's going on.
So my thing,
I do
why
my
I'm
thing.
so upset with Patrick and the comment that he made, that he said,
I still don't know the comment.
Yeah.
the comment was like, Glendale, Armenians are owned. This is exactly how
Well,
he
he's
says
talking
it.
about Glendale, though. Glendale. Can
No,
I
no,
say
no,
something?
No. Let me finish.
Okay.
You want to hear the comment, don't you?
Yes.
So this is pretty much what I can remember. This is what he says. Armenians are owned in Glendale and in California. You are owned. You should go wear a T-shirt that says you are owned by Glendale and California. And then this is where he stops and he's mad dogging them. And he goes, by the laws they're pushing on you, and you are accepting it. And I was like, wait a
Nobody's
minute.
expecting shit.
And I was like, wait a minute, Mr. Patrick Bet David.
Yeah, I'm not expecting. He's not.
You go over
He's
there
not.
in Dan's show and on your podcast, he pretty much, I don't want to say it, but yeah, he owned the podcast. I thought it was his podcast, not yours. And then you glorify one race of people that stick together. If one makes money, 5 of them make money. Whatever they do it together. If one needs something, we go there. And then you go on publicly. This is where Armenian men like me and you, we are different. Because the way I see Armenian men, when they speak something that comes out of their mouth, they back it up. They do it regardless if it's beneficiary or not. You went on public national TV and podcast and announced that you're going to come to Glendale, unify all these Armenian parents, unify them and bring them to the biggest theater or place that can hold the maximum amount of people. We had all that set up for you to come down and unify us. Get us together because we believed in you, because you were that successful and powerful person who is representing Armenian, half but still Armenian, and we were excited for you to come. And if you had came, maybe after that day we would have had thousands of us joining together, and we would have marched
right?
our way down to Sacramento instead of marching down to LAUSD and shutting down freeways. We would have shut down Sacramento and told Gavin Newsom, you cannot own us. They never owned me. No one can own me. I'm a man. I'm an Armenian man. Mr. Patrick Bet David, but you are owned. You are owned big time because you say something, you do something else. Why you are owned? Because some certain people said, Ara, Aristel, Ara. Not in my watch, Ara. You want to
It
go
sounds a
and
little
fight
different,
against?
though.
No, Ara, sit down. Here's a couple of milli. Shut up.
You
You are bought because a very good friend of mine, a parent from our school who's also went viral, he said, bro, any successful man knows not to talk about these people because if once you do, then you're booked and done. And I'm like, but what about nationalists, like your culture, like your heritage, your ancestors, your beliefs, your religion?
Some preservation of it.
There
yeah.
is something that's not for sale. That's my spirit. That's my soul. That's my millions of Armenians died for us to call ourselves Armenians today, bro.
Over the centuries, since
We haven't
800
sold our
years?
we had our history, we had our
Since that
whatever
truck
traders in our
came?
car, whatever. We're not getting into
Seljuk.
that, but today we are Armenian and we're keeping that in this foreign nation, right? By what? By our blood and by our religion, by our nationality, by our history, by our culture, by our heritage,
We have
right?
a rich culture. It's a
This is
very-
why they ignited
yeah.
the parents, because they touched their family, their young ones, their future. Children are our future. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we praise God's children all over the world.
My video paused.
Yes, we praise God's children all over the world. You know, I'm for all children. You know, for me, when it comes to children, I don't care if your child is Jewish child, if your child is Armenian child, if your child is Hispanic, black, Asian, white, Palestinian. I don't care. You have a child, that child is innocent, that child is pure. That's what I'm in this for. And for someone to glorify such people, and say, hey, you guys are good, we should follow your examples in order to succeed in life, and then you want to promise the people that you're coming. Where were you? How come you didn't come and stick with your people? You didn't come stand with us. You didn't come stand with me and the parents that you proudly called heroes. I'm the guy who you called a hero, bro. I'm a heartbroken guy who was waiting for you to come and unite us. All these Armenians, unite us so we can shut this government and its evil way. And you did not come, and you want to come to Glendale and not even let the people know you're coming, and then call us that we're owned by Glendale, the same very person who's fighting every day on the streets. You're calling us owned? And you're singling out the word Armenians are owned, not everyone else. You guys are owned. Homie, you're a millionaire, bro. You got millies, homie.
But
you didn't even come down and stand with us and show the government that, hey, even though I got millions, I'm willing to jeopardize it just so I can stand with the righteousness, with the right side of God, with the right side of history. You did not come. You came and called us that we're owned. No, you're owned by a certain type of people under their money. I don't care if you don't. I don't care anymore because I already know where you stand. My money's on damn Balzerian, homie. Yeah. You can shut me down on these two.
He Arab type fun.
I don't care. You shut me down on this. I don't care. I don't care if everybody shuts me. This is recording. This studio is recording. I could post this on other people's Instagrams, on other people's channels. I don't care. But I'm going to speak my mind. Why? Because, man, homie, I have not shut my mouth down ever. Okay, I speak the truth. I don't get bought. I don't get sold out, bro. And for you to come to a podcast, you should have come to my podcast, Mr. Patrick Bet David. I swear, we could have had some interesting conversation. I wouldn't just sit there and look pretty in front of the cameras just because you're on my podcast. No, that whole podcast was scripted, bro. And this is what I mean. I don't like scripted podcasts. I don't like to read there, I'm supposed to say this. But I'm supposed to say this. No, man, we don't script nothing. We speak from the mind. We speak from the heart. This is what I'm doing. And if I'm doing something wrong and they're shutting me down, oh, well, but we got 18 viewers. Maybe we got to exit and come back in. There we go. Exit and come back in, and we're on. I think until we get frozen again.
That's what I did.
Yeah, so you just chose Team Bilzerian, huh? Is that my understanding?
But it's not Team Bilzerian.
Okay, what's Team Bilzerian?
My boy was making sense. It's not like
he called out shit to whatever that's shown,
Yeah, there's things he does I don't approve of, but he's a rich single male and dominant male, and
he's not single. He's married.
Now he's married, but
and he got married in Armenia, by the way.
And congratulations, Mr. Dan, but he had his fun before he got married, so he's like, I'm done with this, I'm gonna settle down. More props to him. But he called out some stuff, bro. Ballsy,
dude's ballsy. He's like, fuck it. I'm gonna say my mind.
I always ask myself, why would a race of people or government who went through a genocide does not accept another genocide? Why would that? I always ask myself this, for years and years and years. Argentina is nowhere near our country, does not even have any affiliation with our country, accepted the genocide. One of the first countries to accept.
But they have a big, exactly. They have a very big Armenian diaspora in Argentina.
I understand, but
there is a strong affiliation.
From the genocide,
exactly.
Fleeing, there's a decent amount. Like Germans, there's a lot of Germans in Argentina. There's Armenian immigrants there too.
You just made my point. If the people want It will be, right? The Argentinian has big diaspora of Armenians. They raise the voice. They
But
make
also,
awareness.
Argentina doesn't have an ulterior motive like the other country does.
Yeah, it's like,
You get what I'm saying? It's
Argentina
not
is not
comparing
the
apples
only,
to apples.
but it's not only Argentina who accepted this.
I know
you
that.
understand? There's many other countries.
But those other countries don't have the same ulterior motive as that one country.
And what's
That's
what's the alternative motive for this
But two and
country
two.
that doesn't want to accept our country as
Which
the
one?
genocide?
Which country?
The genocidal country doesn't want to accept our genocide.
Who is which country?
You want me to get shot on the damn thing again? Which country? Which person? Which name?
You can
Give
say
me
something
flag.
like-
This.
Ivana.
You can say like former Palestine, like, taken by force. You
No,
can say
I don't
that.
want to say none of that.
Yeah,
because
you know-
anything you say, we get canceled. But you know who I'm talking about. But listen,
We never got canceled because of me.
If we have a quarter in such a country that this quarter is us and is one of the oldest quarters, one of the most holiest quarters, and they're trying to shut that down as well. Not only they're denying the Armenian genocide, they're shutting down the Christian Armenian quarter.
But do you
Yeah.
know the thing behind that? I don't agree with this, so don't attack me for it. I don't agree with it, but it was because of improper
Does it matter?
dealings. Yes, it does, because
So
it's
you're
a
saying
contract.
my lease is over.
So
Listen,
wait,
this
Manuk,
is
let me
what
make a
she's
point.
trying
Hold on.
to say.
No.
The
Don't put words in my
government-
mouth. Manuk, don't put words in my
Okay,
mouth. Let me finish my thought.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm sorry. Go
Thank
ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Get
Okay.
that?
So
Sure,
basically,
it's a
no.
to us.
Utelu masin
Okay,
çiste.
like English, please.
Olmayayım
Okay.
kere.
Anushkas.
Merci.
For example, if I'm just assuming, I'm not in Israel, I don't know, right? But from what I've gathered, from the information that I've gathered, back in the day when they signed that lease, why, for example, why didn't the heads of the church ask certain people, heads of the people also, like, hey, if we sign this lease in this many years, like, is it a smart thing to do? Should we not do it? Should we
Okay,
do it
okay.
another way? Instead of signing something, and then when the time is up, we're like kicking and screaming.
Okay, listen. So basically, this is what exactly what you're saying is what the Israeli government is saying to the Armenian people. But I'm the Armenian people telling you this. So some stupid idiot back in 150 years ago made a stupid contract because he didn't know how to read. He just signed the contract.
Exactly.
So let's go demolish 2,000-year-old church.
So why did that one stupid person not consult with other
so
people?
because of that
He
one
was
stupid
stupid,
people.
Eileen.
Well,
so,
come
okay,
on.
listen. So this stupid person made this thing.
There's no
so okay,
spectrum of stupid.
it's in a contract. Let's just demolish this church, which underneath the church is supposedly where the tomb of Jesus Christ is. This church is built on top of the tomb where they put Jesus Christ in and he disappeared. This church is built on top of that. So because 150 years ago, some guy made millions or whatever, he
Out
got
of greed.
5 goats or
Greed.
whatever. Like, yeah, he's in hell right now and Satan is having his way. Now let's demolish this church.
I don't think they're going
And
to
the
demolish it.
history
It's
of-
good for, like, they're
No,
going to run
bro.
it. It's
No,
like,
they brought the tractors. The priest lay in front of the tractors.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they brought the tractors. They broke the
So why
wall.
did we wait until this day? Well, how come in the 150 years? Okay, that one idiot signed that, right? So you're telling me there wasn't one person that could have contested that contract in that
Do you
150
think
years?
that they haven't done it and they got rejected
I'm
and
asking.
rejected? I don't know.
I'm asking.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that we don't know. There's a lot of things that the media doesn't tell us and tell us whatever they want us to know.
but don't
I
you want to
know-
know every, like, all details?
But I know
Before
I know,
coming to a conclusion.
Yeah.
The only thing I know is the things that I know I can verify, not what the media tells me. The media might tell me Armenians never made a claim to. Do you really think that the most sacredest, holiest place the Armenian Christianity holds, and we're not trying to fight for it for over these hundreds of years?
Preservation,
Like,
absolutely.
don't you think we're saying, hey, there is a mistake after that guy got passed away and he vanished and we can blame everything on him? Don't you think
Yeah, I
we
don't know
have...
the specs on this. Like, so
You
it's
know,
just
I
a
don't
matter of
have-
a contract issue, basically.
That's
Yeah,
what
it is. The list is over.
Yeah.
You rented this church's rent. like churches rent is
Oh, that's
built.
the issue. Huh? I didn't know anything about
Yeah,
that.
it was a- it
I
was
know
a
there's like a
lease.
lot of conflict.
Yeah, it was a
And
lease.
because
that's
of these-
over.
That's quarters, right?
Because
Like part of
of
the
the-
quarters.
that-
Brother,
yeah.
because of these, they're banning Christianity
Yeah.
from this certain region. You cannot practice Christianity in.
Yeah, we'll say it like that. It's not just this. It's not just that. Why
No,
don't
it
you go to the
started
root
this. No,
cause?
no, bro,
Root
this
cause
started
is,
it.
of my understanding is, right, like if there's of that faith, it's like, we've seen many, and like it plays out with Candace Owen and that Shmuley fella and this. It's like they really have a dislike for Christians. It's like they are superior than us. It's like, okay.
Not
it's
only
like,
that, but the
they have
only
that
Christians
mindset.
in-
So I have to deal with that. You understand? It's like I'm not going to accept the fact that somebody, if they're superior, they're superior. But I'm going to be my best as well. And if I have to do certain way, things a certain way, I have to make that adjustment. I'm not going to just stay within faith and stuff, because now I'm not dealing with somebody who has the same conscience or similar conscience than we do as Christians. You see what I mean? Their conscience is completely different. Then, if my religion teaches me that I'm superior than everybody, man, I'm winging it. I'm doing some great stuff. Like
Exactly.
yeah, like
So-
that son of Saddam Hussein, that one crazy bastard. Like you go all nuts. It's like it's no longer regulated.
Exactly. But
For sure. But that's
only-
the root cause.
Yeah, the
Everything
only-
else is just a part of it. It's just like now
But
they already don't
but
like the
it
Christian.
doesn't go
It is what
only-
it is.
It's not only religion over here, okay? In Israel, the Christian quarter belongs to Armenians. If you're against Christianity, that means you're pretty much against the Armenians because they control the Christian quarter. It's like
There's some Greeks too.
Christian-
There's some Greeks too.
Greeks share the
Yes.
church with the Armenians.
Yes.
That's the Armenian church.
Got it,
They share
got
the
it.
church with us because they're in the same belief. They're our brothers and our sisters. We're the
Don't
same.
they have a Greek quarters there?
No, they do
It's the
not.
Christian quarter.
They
Huh?
do
It's
not.
the Christian quarter.
It's just
That's
the
it.
Christian.
We share it.
That is
We
one. Okay,
share
got
it.
Yes.
It's the Armenian
Because
Christian
they're
quarter.
Unless
Orthodox
I'm
as
separate,
well.
like posted like
They're
separate and
Orthodox.
such, yeah.
We're Orthodox.
Yeah, they're sharing because we're all the same. We
Pretty
believe
much.
in
Yes.
everything
Pretty much,
the
pretty
same.
much.
So we're sharing the same, but it's the Armenian quarter.
And some Ashuris
it
too.
says it there, Armenian quarter. Yeah, Asuris too, but the Armenian quarter. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
say
yeah,
the
yeah,
Greek
yeah.
quarter, Asuri quarter.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of Christianity. That means they're trying to get rid of Armenians. That's the way
Pretty
I
much.
see
We
it.
are like it's
'Cause you
it's
take
one
our
in the
religion,
identity.
You erase
It's
our
one in the
religion.
identity.
Yeah, if you erase our religion in this country, we're gonna vanish. Because if I don't have my church, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go to somewhere where it has my church. I'm gonna move there because my church is near me, right? We always go to the church. We are church people. Yeah, America made us more relaxed, more like lazy, more couch potato, that we don't really look at the church. But if you look at our history, our people, we're always religious people. Like we always with Christ, and because of that, we have suffered and paid the ultimate price by having most of our people sacrificed, like slaughtered, because being Christians. And for someone to come here, and before coming here, glorifying that we should unite together and not living by the example and showing us that, hey, sometimes the money doesn't play a role. I should come and we should unite as people so we could be more successful and more stronger.
Have a bigger
did not
voice,
show up, bro.
influence, But what's up?
And when you did show up, you called us we are owned.
What was it? An analogy?
bro.
Like
Come on,
I don't
bro.
know.
I want to. I
I don't
want
know
to
how
hear
Manuk
it.
took
I
it.
want to see
Yeah.
it to come to my own conclusion.
Go look at it.
You
see
get what
it.
I'm
It's
saying?
It's on YouTube.
I
It's
would say
everywhere.
next time maybe play that
yeah.
first. Like
so we have
so we
something
get an
to go
idea.
off of. And not only us.
No, I
people.
don't want to give him no props.
because
for
he might be saying that
homie.
you guys are overtaxed. Like
It's
you're
an analogy.
Owned. Yeah, you're owned like you're overtaxed or something.
No,
he's trying
not
to make
talking
a stupid
about
point.
that.
But
He's
if that's
talking
not
about
it, I
the
mean, if there's
parental
some like,
rights, all these laws
he's
that
looking at you in the
California has-
camera like you, Manuk.
No, he's not looking
And
at me.
people like you. Yeah, he
He's
hit me
not
too.
looking at me. He was looking at
we
the,
here
he
together,
was
man. He
looking
hit
at
me
the
too.
podcast people, 3 guys sitting in front of him, and no one said, "Hey, bro," but we're doing this shit. We're on the streets fighting every day. You guys know me, how active I am fighting.
Most of our kids know that there's only 2 genders and shit like that, and then a bunch of like.
So how are we owned? If
activities.
anything, I think we own California. Shit, we have our own little town, little Armenia, homie. I don't know if you got that in your Florida. You know,
Yeah.
you left Cali because you couldn't fight. You didn't want to fight. You didn't want to stand up. You didn't want to be a tough guy. It's easy to pack up your stuff and leave. It's very easy.
That just got called out.
You know,
This is
but
shots
but to
fired.
stay and fight and change something, that's an accomplishment. That's something the creator fights for me to fight his battles right here. Okay, if I pack my bags up and leave, that means I'm giving up on my creator. Because he needs me in this war right now. He needs us in this podcast. He needs us to have this conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if we give up, that means we're giving up on everything that we love and stand for, bro. I'm not giving up. I don't care if you want to call me I'm owned. No, you're owned, homie. Look what I'm owned.
I got to see the context. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine.
Go for it.
What I'm
Go
Gets
for it.
offended
Yeah.
quick. You know, it's
You
like,
see, this
that's
is what
he's
it
talking
says.
about.
Leave our kids alone. This is what owns me. My kids own me.
Yeah.
They say what I
Those
do, and I do it
bastards.
without any blink of an eye. My daughter says, Papa, I want ice cream. I go get her ice cream. Papa, I want this. I do this. This is the only 4 people that own me. California and Glendale, they don't own me. They don't own, no one owns me, bro. And if anything, they might own the whole state, the Democrats. And if anything, the Democrats own the whole country at this point.
Right now it does.
United States is owned. You are owned, Mr. Patrick. Yeah, your borders is not crossed, but
Shots
you're still
fired.
owned because
Shots
your
fired.
country is being owned by the same Democrats that own California.
Manuk chose
Who's
violence.
Nancy Pelosi? Gavin Newsom's aunt, right?
What do you
Nancy
mean, who is
Pelosi.
she, bro? This bitch will buy us and sell us 10 times over. At current, she is like known for like picking the best stocks. You know, like anything she picked on, like yeah, that girl like should have been a stockbroker. I don't know why she's wasting her time here
In
with her
politics.
measly 200 mil. She knows how to like pick them, man. Like you know, it's like she cool people like that. Hey, listen, I had something to say though. So like. You know, I'm actually going to change my party to Democratic. I am. Forget this.
Okay.
Like this, you Republicans just complain and talk too much shit. Like, you know, you guys can't even like come together on an issue right now. Manuk is like cussing out Patrick, Bet David. They're both Republicans. And yeah, I'm not. You know, I'm smart enough. Excuse me. I'm smart enough. Okay. It's like there's $24 billion missing from the homeless budget, and I want a machete. I want a piece of that shit. And the Democratic Party is where some of that money is at right now. You know, it's like the rest of them are complaining. These guys are losing money left and right. I want to be part of the loss. You know, it's like they're more productive in that way.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, I'll bring it up. Right, give me a second. Hey, Tiber Nugs. I want to read a few things. What happened in Montreal? Yeah, we're gonna talk about Montreal. The people in Montreal stood up in Canada and they took to the streets. How do you know your creator exists and that he wants you to fight those battles? Because my creator does exist, and I believe in that because I exist. You know, something created me, right? And when you say something, everything comes out of nothing. You believe in nothing, then something that says that I created you. I mean, we could talk about this all you want. I'm not ready to talk about this, but yeah, I exist. That means my creator exists. Someone created me. It's like you're asking me which came first, the chicken or the egg. The creator created the chicken to have the egg, and the egg came out of the chicken. Okay, so, and then it says, sounds like you're opposite, Manuk. No, you're opposite. Manuk doesn't live in Glendale. No, I do not live in Glendale. Yes, thank you for verifying. Oh, by the way, Tiber Nugs, I apologize to you, my brother. Last time you wanted to be on my show, you made a couple of phone calls. Yeah, we couldn't get you on because we had our show and we didn't want you on. But if you want to talk to us,
Tell him to come through.
Come through. We give you.
He thought we were like in Glendale, probably in a lowrider, looking for Tiber Nux. He gave himself that much importance, buddy. So it's like, tell him to come through. What is it that you have to say, Tiber? He is being kind of nice today. It's like,
But
every
he's
so
always.
often-
In
If
his
you don't
defense,
believe
Yeah.
in the
he's
creator,
always.
hey, Tiber Nugs.
What is he, a commie? He's a
I will
he's a
give
full blown
you-
Antifa.
But
Like
if you speak to someone like a
One
human
second,
being,
guys,
the
Yes.
chances are they're going to
Yes.
reply like a human being.
yes,
1 second. Oh shit, you had that right there.
This is the
Tiber
fourth time.
Nugs, listen. I'm not gonna give you phone time right now, so don't even bother calling because I'm not gonna give you that. But if you want to be on this show, hey, we got Zoom. If you're scared coming down here, it's okay.
don't be
You know,
scared.
I have that. Thing on a lot of people. When they see me, they get scared. I don't know why. Maybe I'm too handsome for them. But
I am
whatever.
terrified. Manuk. Pull the alarms.
I don't. Yeah.
Mama.
So you can Zoom, okay? DM
Somebody
me.
wrote Tibet nuts. Wow.
DM me, DM Angels,
Is that Drew?
Red Angeles, and set up an appointment where we could book you. Come into Zoom. You could have your mask on. You could have you could cover your whole face, whatever. We don't care, You could say, you could come down here, but just remember, if you go out of line, you will be deleted, and you will be gone, and we could talk shit about you all we want, okay? So you're more than welcome to join us, Cybernux. So if you have anything to say to me,
Anything important that you thought is
come on
intellectual?
down. I give you
Remember?
that opportunity. Come on down, my
You're
boy.
an intellect, Tiber.
And the only reason I'm doing this is because you're one of my #1 followers, bro. I swear to God, bro. I have an account that I have like 5, 6 followers or 9 followers. He's one of them. And then I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Tiber Nug's my boy. I can't believe Charlie B doesn't follow me.
He's consistent.
Hey, Charlie, what's up?
He actually
Sorry
likes
I
the bad
missed
moms
you in
too.
the
He's
mountains, We had a
He's
kind
cool
of
guy.
feeling that you would be over there, but we missed you. But let's get to what we have in Montreal, okay? Parents took to the streets, and thousands of people came up. They marched for like a mile or something. And it was incredible. I have a couple of footages. Why don't you go ahead and play them, Christian, if you have them?
Look at Antifa blocking us with their face.
Yeah,
daggers.
trying to, like, 5 of them block this whole mass of people walking.
This is in Canada? No,
Yeah,
this is U-Haul.
No, this is Canada. U-Haul is in Canada too, bro.
Oh, yeah?
Come on, bro.
I thought it's some... We love our trucks out here, okay? We love our trucks out here. I love my trucks.
Oh my God.
Oh, Isuzu, that might be Japan, bro.
Well, we need to know where this is, okay? So...
I said in Canada, bro.
Oh, this is
Why
in
don't
Canada?
we have voice?
It says, go to school, go something. Yeah, so what's so what's special about this? What are we talking about this for? Yeah. And then there's some Antifas trying to stop it?
Well, the people are coming together. One of my friends who is in Canada, she's very active with all this, and like, it's something, bro. Like, they're making awareness, like, they're bringing attention. They're tired of, like, they have it very bad in Canada.
Yeah.
We think we have it bad here. They have it very, very bad in Canada. And the prices are more cheaper in Canada. Did you see that shit?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
So that's Antifa right there, right?
Yeah. That's
What I was
20
going to say,
people
can
that-
you imagine a Canadian Antifa? Like, really polite, very to the
Eh?
point. They are going to
Excuse
talk
me,
you
eh?
into, like, communism. They're not going to fight you or pepper spray you. Just some wholesome Antifas
I
up
thought
in
you
Canada.
said some Whole Foods Antifa.
That's wholesome, too.
So back to what I was saying. When I say something, I usually back it up.
Okay.
When Mr. Someone who said he was gonna come to Glendale and meet with the parents and have all this big thing and unite, and he had a couple of great ideas how to get the parents involved and changing, and why didn't you come? My question is why? Why if you have a couple of great ideas that we could use and we can change stuff in California, why aren't you here telling us? Why didn't you come?
Yeah, the live ended. Okay. Okay.
So my thing is why? Why didn't you come and unite us? And you want to glorify certain people who always are united together, If you're looking at it like that and you're preaching everything about that hey, you guys, if one Armenian makes money, 5 of us make money, then why didn't you come and stand with your people? The very same people that you're so proud of, bro, that you were so honored. You deserted us, and then the first chance you had to come to get on one of our podcasts happened to be the Homies podcast, even though they didn't handle it the way I would have handled it.
How are we going to handle it, Manuk? Marjan, you called most women whores. You cussed out multiple
like
countries.
95% of the.
I think at one point you cussed out like paraplegic people too. You understand? It's like, I don't know.
Elect a president, one of the presidents that nominees is one of the most unreal person ever, the most fakest person ever, the most insecure person ever, and it's all because not. I said it all this much. I have to say it all the way because it's a woman, bro. I was watching this documentary how women are perceived to think they're ugly. How because of this cosmetic industry, women are perceived to be told that you're ugly, you're not this, you're not that, unless you put this lipstick on or this eyeshadow. And it came down to where, because of this psychological effect they have on women, the first thing that even from birth woman looks is makeup. Like my daughters,
Looks, that's their that's the number one thing that attracts.
Yeah, my daughters, like when I look at my
Marjan.
daughters right now, I
Yeah.
have 4 beautiful daughters and they're all beautiful. Like the way they are, they're so beautiful. But I can see they're trying to paint their nails, like they want like lip gloss, and I'm like,
YouTube, baby.
like, yeah, but if you look at my children, I mean, they're not my children. I'm saying this is because, I mean, they're cute girls. They're beautiful girls. Not
From a young age, it
the
is
most
something.
beautiful,
Yeah, that's
but they're
like
not
constantly
ugly.
showed. Yeah,
They're not ugly. My
Fed to
children
them.
are not ugly. And the way I look at them, I'm like, my 5-year-old comes up and says, "Papa, look," and she's like this, and her grandma painted her nails, whatever, right? And I'm like, from this age it starts brainwashing these children, these women, these girls, that you're not beautiful unless you put nail polish on. You're not beautiful unless you put lip gloss on. You're not beautiful unless you do this to yourself, do that to yourself. And because of this, the cosmetic industry is one of the top industries, bro.
Yes, it is.
You know how expensive it is to raise a daughter? To raise 4 of them? It's very expensive, bro.
compared to.
You know how expensive it is to be a woman?
Yes, I know, because I got 5 of them in my house. I got 5, and then 2 of them still don't use
I want to know
makeup.
how
4 of them.
expensive is it, Eileen?
But see, this is the
Give us
thing.
the-
I think
give us
it's
a
like,
number.
Okay,
So what it is like you are. I've always said
$750.
this.
and I'm given a chance.
Listen, I always say this, and we probably had this conversation. You are beautiful the way you are. No matter how much makeup and thing you put, you're not gonna get any more.
Have you seen her
beautiful.
without makeup on?
It's because of the makeup that she put on her face before
Are you
she
sure about
was.
that?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
sure.
good. That's it. You made a good point.
I'm sure about that. It's
Beauty is
the makeup
within, yes.
that kills your skin.
Self-love, that's
But
it.
imagine.
But this
they
is the
put
thing,
this-
Manuk. As a woman, I'm going to say women are women's worst enemy. So when, for example, I was having this conversation
That's a
with,
true comment.
with somebody yesterday, actually, where I was like, okay, those bat lashes that women put on, it's like, I have never heard a man say, oh man, you know, she's the one because she got those, you know, those like, you know, windshield wiper eyelashes. It's women doing that to women. Men don't care. they truly don't care.
I heard they were forced something, by the way.
Some kids
They were
watch.
forced something. The person who actually made those. You guys know
Oh,
about
yes,
that?
yes.
Let's not.
Let's not go there, but yes. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was about to say something, but we have young
Yeah.
audience watching. But men, they only care about one thing. A few things, but one most important is food. We care about food.
Loyalty.
Loyalty too. But once we come home,
Everything
like-
else is forgivable. It's like
like
loyalty
once
is
I
number one. up there.
loyalty. That's
Fuck food. I
no,
like cooking meat. So
Bro, loyalty that's given.
survive.
Without loyalty, there is no family, right?
Can't have me with
you
just
can't,
food.
You can't say I want
I'm not that
loyalty and
gullible.
have a family. You can't have a family if your family is not loyal. So we're not talking about that. But when I go home, after hard works a day, I don't care what kind of shitty day I had. When I get home, and I look at my wife and she goes, "Are you hungry? You want me to give you some food?" Or she has the food already on the table. I'm like, "Oh hell yeah!" But when I come home and she's like, "Oh, I order something." Order something 2:00 in the morning. Like, what do you want me to order? Like, you really could get into a relationship where loyalty, you're right, loyalty, but without loyalty, there's no family. And without loyalty,
There's no
is
food.
sellout, right? Is a sellout where you cannot speak your mind because someone threw a couple of millies at you and said, "Hey, bro, you better not go to
How many
Glendale."
millions is it?
And if
200
you do go
million?
to Glendale, you better talk shit about the
Never see me
Armenians
again.
because they're rowdying up. There's one guy with a flag walking around everywhere and claiming that you touched his flag. Come on, try, I dare you. He's too much. Go say something to, trigger him. And you got me triggered, bro. You are owned, Mr. Patrick Gibson.
Oh my
Patrick
God.
Bet David.
Poor-
You
poor-
are owned, Mr. Patrick Bet David. I apologize to you, Mr. Gibson. But you are owned by the same people who shut you down and who told you to come to Glendale and say that we are owned. How we owned? You feel you're owned, bro, by Glendale or by Cali?
No.
I don't feel owned. Some people who think that Patrick wasn't making some bad whatever, then you're probably okay with the words that he says you're owned. I'm not okay, so, Oh, boy. That's it for my podcast today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you forget any other group of people we should just consult real quick
Eliminate?
too? Like, why just stop at Patrick? Like any other names that we know? Like,
it's not Patrick, bro. I have
Listen.
nothing against him. He has done a lot of great things.
Dave
he
Chappelle.
He has very good argumentative points, but the fact that
he shows bias. That's what you're trying to say. He shows bias. It's like,
yeah,
you know,
when
it's
you
like,
show
hold on a
bias,
second.
That means you're.
I
pretty
thought we're
much in
going
the
at this. I
pocket.
thought it's a conversation. What do you see going on? He sees what's going on, but he's like limited to what he could say. He has to stay within parameters. Like, I have to be a
And
good
my-
boy.
one of my
Nodek
boys-
says, I am just a good goyim who notices patterns. That's Nodek's words.
Yes,
That guy's funny.
but you know what? I gotta say this. When we have no Eileen on the podcast, it's not that big of a deal. When we have no Edgar on the podcast, it's still the same. No Manuk, it's kind of the same. But today, unfortunately, Narek could not make it to the studios. And something is like off.
Yes,
like,
it is.
I constantly look over there.
Has
He's
been
not
there
sitting
since
there
inception.
looking at me and telling me yes or no, good job or bad job. I'm like, something's missing. Like, Narek, we miss you. We love you, bro. And I hope you're having a fun day today because I know you had some plans. Yeah, people, Narek is not in the studio today. Unfortunately, he missed episode 16. So, all I'm saying, bro, if you say that certain people are more successful because they stick together, and the fact that you were gonna come down to California and
Stirred up something, and then neglected.
unite all these armors
That's
together.
your coral right there. Yeah.
That was like you practicing what you are believing like stick together, we would have stuck together, and God knows what could have happened.
There are numbers, bro. And like you said, a lot of us are registered voters. It's not like if it's a thing, it's like, you think, you hope for under this flag that we have democracy. They say things are rigged, there is that, but that's actually a great thing that you said, because I didn't know that many of us actually registered to vote because we want our voice to be heard. We want to be part of the democracy. It's like, and we're being excluded.
Bro, 65% of North Hollywood, California is registered Armenian voters.
That's a big number.
That's a big number to control a city.
Yes.
And
That's a
we
big number.
control North Hollywood. We control Glendale, too. Glendale, we have a lot of registered voters. And I don't know how that dog-eating, cat-eating ex-mayor has the job in Glendale that because of him and...
Who eats dogs?
I'm not going to give them that
Names,
credit, give them names, bro. That's what you do. You give them credit. On my show, give them, fuck you, Charlie.
I thought there was no cussing.
I didn't cuss. He cussed.
You just did.
I said what he said.
But you still said it.
But he said it. Dude.
Sounds like my wife right now.
It's like, it doesn't matter.
I could
did
do
not
no right.
cuss.
You
He
said the word.
I didn't say
It
shit.
doesn't
That's
matter
his
if he
words.
did. Yes, but you don't need to.
He
You
even
can
made a
paraphrase.
post saying that I even copied him.
You can
saying
paraphrase. You can paraphrase and not use the word.
I don't know.
Lead
what
by
that means.
example.
What does that mean? Paraphrase.
Yanni, you don't need to use the word. You can use another word or not say it.
That wouldn't be the same thing that he said. That would be totally something else that he said. He could say, I did not say that. Then once I pass, say what I'll say. You could just talk about it.
Are we done?
No, we're not done. I think so. We're
I
done.
think we're done. Say your last bit, man.
Are we done, bro? So my thing is, yes. You guys, any last words? I think we're done. And nothing.
Last word.
My thing.
Word.
Nothing. Word.
No, we're good.
So I'm not against how my boys at Wise Nuts ran that. I mean, I'm saying I would have done it different because I'm a different person than them. I'm not against Patrick Bet-David because of what he said. He's still a community leader and he's successful, and I do watch his podcasts and pay attention to what he says.
He provides news.
But for someone to preach something and not come through, I mean, you made it very clear on that show with Dan Balzerian that, hey, bro, if we stick together, we will be successful. And you went on the national social media saying, hey, I'm going to Glendale, meet the parents, and have this great thing that we're going to do and be successful. But you did not come through. And today someone told me, if you want to be successful in this business, you cannot talk certain stuff about certain people. So that just tells me you're in their pocket. You're not with your people. I'm with my people. I'm always on the streets. I'm always on the media. I'm on the front lines fighting for our children's rights. I don't care about all this being on social media. That's not what we're doing. What we want is for our children to be safe at school and for parents to know what's happening.
Not to be forced ideology, too.
For the past week, okay, let me just tell you this.
Or parents.
LAUSD, I'm coming, and I'm coming to have a concern with you guys because we have a possible shooting threat in our schools in San Fernando Valley. And we're calling the police, and they're like, we are defunded. We cannot come because we have no funds to be there.
Wow.
And we're like, but there's a threat. And they're like, we cannot act on the threat unless they do something. It's just a threat. They have to act on it before we do something.
You got to be a victim first.
So I'm out there fighting every day. And the reason why we're having this podcast is because we want people to hear what we have to say. And what we have to say is you gotta keep on fighting. You don't pay attention to these big time social media people, what they're saying, and influencers. Go with your gut feeling. And if you
Stay
think
active in the community, right?
Yes,
It's like
have
local
a
politics
parent-
has become number one thing.
parent
It's
groups, like if your child is in the class, start a parent group, like socialize, like
for sure.
communicate with other parent groups. In my school, we have about 30 parent groups, and if something happens, everybody knows. As long as one person in that parent group knows, the whole group knows. You know what I'm saying? So start something like this. Be active. Be part of your children's life. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one who is going to be blamed for the mishaps, for anything bad happens to you, with your children. You're going to be blamed. Anything successful that happens to your children is all their glory. You know? You got to give all the glory to your children and take all the downfalls. So you don't have too many downfalls. Be active with your children. Be constantly active. Talk to them. Be part of their lives. And once they become at that age when they're adults and they want to decide what path to take in their life, wish them well and wish for the best. With that, we love you guys. Stay tuned for our next podcast. We have good special guests coming down, hopefully. And we don't announce any of our guests. You got to stay tuned to find out. And I love this guy's T-shirt. I don't know where you got it.
It's Christians. Give a shout out to Christian. The
Christian, the welder Christian, not this Christian. The guy that welds up in Orange County, Riverside. Shout out to Christian.
It's a conversation starter. It's a good T-shirt. I'm telling
Kill
you.
all pedophiles.
Yeah, you get dirty looks too. I love it.
I love you guys. Peace out. Stay tuned next Friday. Subscribe, Red Angelos, and LOKA 818 on YouTube. Thank you. Have a good night. Give me music at least at the end.
Well, I have to go to the restroom.
No music?
My bladder's about to fucking...
Same.
Something happens to my music, bro.
Pardon me.
Your pardon?
Que fortaleci, habla.
Schau, aber sempre